I'm going to come down here, I'm going to open Photoshop and wait for it to load. And once it loads, I'm going to go to New File. I'm going to make this one inches. Let's go 17 by 11. We're going to make the resolution 250. I hope these computers can handle it. We're going to go to RGB color and create. Now what I want you to use is a big fat font, easy to read, such as Algerian, Bauhaus 93, Berlin Sans, FB Demi, Bernard, MT Condensed, Broadway, Cooper Black, Elephant, Eras Bold, ITC, Forte, Franklin Heavy Gothic, Gill Sans Ultra Bold, Gill Sans Ultra Bold Condensed, Gaudi, Stout, Impact, Magneto, Matura, MT Script Capitals, Ravi, Rockwell Extra Bold, Showcard Gothic, Snap ITC, or Wide Latin, just to name a few. Surprising no one, Mr. Penn is a big fan of Impact. So let me just click that once. I'm going to type Mr. Penn. I think I want to do this in all caps, honestly. And the whole point of this assignment is to make this large. How big can I make it? 400. Will that fit? No. Let's try 300. Photoshop should help me center this. That's pretty good. And I do think I'll make a subheading right here. In all caps, Digital Design 2023. Oh my gosh, zoom out. Let's try 72-point font. Let's try 150. Let's try 120. Okay. Once you've done that, I'm going to grab a new layer, turn off the background layer, and merge. If I zoom in, I can show you Control Z, Control not Z. It went from a type layer with the little T's over here to they're all merged. That is an image layer, not a type layer anymore. And I can treat this like I would treat any other picture. Now there are different fonts and downloads you could do to just type out a metallic font, but we're going to try this together this way, since we can't download any plugin. So what we want to do first is go for that metallic chrome look. I'm going to come up here to Magic Wand, and I'm hoping that it'll select everything. It did, because contiguous was not turned on. Maybe I want to do this in a new layer just in case I mess up. We are going to pick different colors, and I'm going to, oh gosh, pick almost like a dark turquoise. And using soft brushes, I'm just going to drag across the top. I'm going to hold the Shift key down so I make straight lines. I'm going to do that to that Mr. Penn. I'm going to come down here and do it to Digital Design, just like that. And now I want it to fade to a much lighter color. Maybe I'll do this one at the top of both of these. Eyedropper this. I think I'm going to make a hard brush. And I want to go even darker and maybe even bluer. Right across the middle like this. Smaller brush. Hold down Shift. And what I could do now is get an even softer brush, like a 0%, and start incorporating warmer colors. Ooh, it's starting to look metallic. Let me get a lighter version of this. The neat thing about this, if I made another layer, if I wanted this to look even colder without the warm colors, you know, I could go to hue and saturation. I could blue up the bottom. I put that in another layer. So I can erase all this. You can do things like that. Delete. I like it like this. I'm liking that, but I also like making new layers in case I mess up. What I'm going to do is make a copy, right-click, blending options, stroke. I turned this into white. I made it a skinny line, like an 8. I'm going to click on OK. But I still want to color this outline, so I'm going to make a new layer, merge visible, magic wand on the outside, select inverse, eyedropper this dark blue, and I'm going to color this entire thing like that. And the reason I did it was so that when I drop this one over that, it looks like that. Now, this dark blue layer underneath my metallic layer, this layer, make it white. I can go on the edges and add some white across the middle like that. I do not want you to have a background, but if I click on black on this, there is my metallic Mr. Pen. Do not merge. As a matter of fact, file save to the cloud, name art metallic, save. I did not merge these together. I need this, well, shoot, I should merge them together. Do not merge them with a background. I need this to be its own layer for next week's assignment. What you can do is go to File, Export, Export As, save it as a JPEG. Now when it gets saved as a JPEG, it will have this automatic white background, but that's okay. But for the sake of this assignment, I want this floating. I'm going to do one more example, what I call the adventure color scheme. And I'm going to show you how to do that right here. Okay, so this is right where we left off before. We started metallic. I'm going to make sure I'm in this layer. I can magic wand all the black, and in a new layer, let me try adventure font. Let me go with a dark red, soft brush, drag it across the top, drag it across the top, and I'm just going to stay in the warm color family, just like so. Red. I've gone from dark red to red, red to orange, orange to yellow, yellow to whites. Boom. Just like that. You guys have heard me say this time and time again. I love to duplicate my layers in case I mess up. I've always got the original back there. I just made a copy. I'm going to call this one distorted. What you can do now is distort it, skew it. I'm going to try distort. I'm going to leave that top line alone, but I do think I'm going to do something like this. After I've distorted it, and you can do a whole list of things: skew, perspective, scale, warp. I'm going to recommend distorted. After I've distorted it, I'm going to right-click it, stroke. I want this color to be black. I want it to have a big black outline like this. And just so I can play with it, I'm going to create a new layer and merge these visible. So now it looks like that. The last thing I'm going to do is make a drop shadow. And the easiest way for me to do that is to duplicate this layer, magic wand the outline, inverse it so now it's just the letters, make sure it's set to black and a big old font. I'm going to make this whole thing black, and I'm going to drop it underneath here, and with the nudge tool, oh, wrong direction, I'm going to nudge this top layer over and let you decide how much black you want showing. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Merge these visible. I'm going to name this layer name art. I want to make sure that I save to the cloud. Name art. I'm going to call this one adventure. Save. Just like I told you, do not merge it with a background. I want this floating by itself for next week's assignment. File, export, export as, it's a JPEG. Export name art adventure, When these things get exported as a JPEG, they automatically have a background, so please don't worry. In fact, if I go to whatever folder this is exporting to, desktop, Photoshop assignments, if you turn in this one, it's got a background, don't worry. If you turn in this one, it's got a background, but don't worry. As long as you've turned those in, you won't have a problem with the future assignments. Export these, send them to me on Canvas. I can't wait to see what they look like. See you next time. Bye.